we can see how wind blows over vast stretches of desert. Now, wind carry fine sediments of silt and sand along with them. This is how wind denude the landforms found in desert. Now, wind erosion is quite common in deserts, as we can see in this video. Now, wind wears off or denude the landforms in various processes. Let us study about them. Here we can see fine particles of silt and sand are being carried off by wind. We can also see the large boulders are moving from their places, which is causing large depressions in the ground. We can also observe a decrease in the elevation of the upper layers. Do you know what is this process called? So, this process in which high speed winds pick up soil and rock particles is known as deflation. And what is the outcome of this process? Large depressions are formed in the ground and there is a depletion or shrinking of upper layers of soil. We know wind carry fine particles of silt and sand along with them. These debris performs friction activity, that is, they scratch and rub the surface of the rocks over which they blow. As a result, the surface of the rock worns out with time. So, this process of wearing away of land surface or rock surface due to continuous rubbing of particles carried by wind is called abrasion, and the outcome of abrasion is that the rock surface gets worn out. Now, the rock particles or sand particles carried by wind not only attack the surface of the rock, but they also collide and roll against one another. As a result, the size of these eroded particles becomes smaller. Now, this process where the rock particles carried by wind become smaller or tinier due to collision within the particles and with the rock surface is called attrition. And the outcome of this process is that the eroded particles reduces in size. So, till now we have discussed about various erosional processes of wind. Now, due to these different erosional processes, different landforms are found in deserts. So, now let us discuss about these landforms. The most common type of feature produced due to wind erosion is sandy desert. In sandy desert, sand is the major constituent, and these sandy deserts are formed when winds carry fine deposits of silt and sand over vast region. Now tell me one thing, can you find any tree in this desert? No, you cannot see any trees in this picture of sandy desert. This is because sandy deserts are very dry, receive scanty rainfall, and therefore they have little or no vegetation at all. The second type of feature that we will discuss is stony deserts. Now, in this photo, what can you see? You can see stones or pebbles. This is the characteristic of stony deserts. That these stony deserts are vast region covered with stone, pebbles, boulders, rocks and other debris carried by wind. And just like sandy desert, stony deserts are also very dry. Another type of feature formed due to wind erosion is rocky desert. They are formed when strong winds erode the soft upper surface of the rock, thereby leaving the hard rocks beneath them. So, these underlying hard rocks gets exposed to further erosion by wind, and this is how rocky deserts are formed. There are other features formed due to wind erosion. Let's know about them. Now, look at this picture of a unique rock. Can you relate this rock with something? Yes, this rock looks like a mushroom. That is, this rock has a broader top and a narrower base. And because these rocks resemble mushroom, therefore they are called mushroom rocks. Now let me tell you how mushroom rocks are formed. Mushroom rocks are formed when strong winds erode the lower part of the rock more than the upper part, and therefore the lower part gets worn out more than the upper part, and so these rocks acquire the shape of a mushroom, and therefore they are called mushroom rocks. Now look at this picture. See, we have found a water body in the middle of a desert. That's wonderful. Do you know what it is called? It is called an oasis. Let me tell you how oases are formed. We know wind erode the surface of the desert when they blow over it. As a result, large depressions are created in the ground. Now, sometimes these depressions are so deep that underground water oozes up to the surface, and this feature thus formed is called an oasis. The soil surrounding an oasis is very fertile because of the presence of water. So, oasis is a site of relief for the local inhabitants because one can grow crops surrounding an oasis. Now, before we move on, let us try to answer this question. What is an oasis? Is it a vast region covered with sand? A barren land covered with hard rocks? A land surrounded by water bodies on all sides? A fertile region in desert where fresh water is available? Well, the correct answer is oasis is a fertile region in desert where fresh water is available. We know wind sweeps the desert floor as they blow over them and carry fine particles of silt and sand. But as the flow of wind gets obstructed by the presence of obstacles like bushes and boulders, the process of deposition starts. The sediments mostly get deposited on the leeward side of these obstacles, as we can see in this video, and different landforms are formed due to this process of deposition. The first type of landform that are formed due to depositional work of wind is sand dunes. Sand dunes are formed when winds carry and deposit fine particles of silt and sand in a particular area. Now, over the years, these depositions of sand thicken and they form a mound or a pile of sand, which are known as sand dunes. The second type of landform produced by wind deposition is seaf dunes. Seaf in Arabic means sword. So these long, narrow, sword-like dunes that are found in desert are called seaf dunes. Now, seaf dunes are formed in a direction parallel to wind. Seaf dunes are even, regular and symmetrical, as we can see in this picture. Now, look at this crescent-shaped dunes that have a gentle slope on one side and steep slope on other sides. These features are called barchans. Barchans are formed when wind blows in one particular direction. Now, as wind blows in one particular direction, they slowly deposit sand in the windward side and they sharply deposit the sand in the leeward side. So, the windward side is gentle due to slow deposition of sand, while the leeward side is very steep due to rapid deposition of sand. So, these crescent-shaped dunes formed due to depositional work of wind are called barchans. The last type of feature formed due to wind deposition that we will discuss today is loess. Loess are formed when strong winds carry fine particles of silt and sand to distant places beyond the periphery of the desert. And these places that are situated far away from the desert receive sufficient rainfall. And when wind deposits fine particles of silt and sand in these regions, then loess are formed. So, loess are formed due to deposition and accumulation of fine silt and sand over vast regions. So, these are the different kinds of features that are produced due to depositional work of wind. They are sand dunes, seaf dunes, barchans and loess. Now, let us discuss about few characteristics of wind action. The first feature of wind erosion or wind action is that it carries away fine particles of sand, silt and dust. Now, why does wind carry fine particles of silt and sand? This is because particles like silt and sand carry no moisture and therefore they are less compact, light in weight, and so they are easily blown away by wind. So, wind carry fine particles of silt, sand and dust. The second characteristic of wind erosion is that wind action is mostly dominant in arid regions or semi-arid regions like desert. And why so? Because these regions lack vegetation, and therefore since no vegetation is found in desert, so wind can easily erode the land surface without any obstacles, and therefore wind erosion is very common in deserts. So today in this video we discussed in details about different erosional processes of wind like deflation, attrition, abrasion. And then we also discuss about different landforms formed due to wind erosion. Then we discuss about the depositional work of wind and the landforms that are formed due to depositional work of wind. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers or to get access to our 5,000 amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million-plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubt resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, but it's rewarding too. So register for free now.